I caught myself and I was like, Alicia, no, this does not coincide with your lifestyle. This is not what you want. You wanted him to ask you even the day before or to go on a date. He has not done that for you. He's asking you to come out with his friends to go downtown Toronto. Like, okay, cool, but that's not what you want to do. Hi girlies, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Alicia Gogan if you are new, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe because it's a good time over here. So I know that a lot of you have been struggling with finding your man. The one that you just want to treat you right. The guy who is healthy, who is healing, who is on the same journey as you. And you're probably also in the mindset of, I keep attracting the same type of guy. He's emotionally unavailable. He's driven by his ego. He's giving toxic masculinity. He is not committing to me. I'm finding that I'm breaking and bending some of my boundaries just to try and be with him. I'm confused. I don't know if he likes me. I don't know where this is going. He's not taking me out on dates the way I want. All of that. Girl, I have been there. I don't think I've told you girlies, I'm in a relationship now, but I just want to put that out there that it definitely gets better. But I know it can be hard, and I used to be the girl who was constantly getting into situationships with guys who were never gonna commit to me. So I've learned a few things, and I want to tell you what's going on and what to do about it. So the first thing that you need to know is that there's two types of masculine men. There's empowered masculine men and disempowered masculine men. And we could use disempowered the same way as like toxic men. Majority of us want that empowered man, the man that is disciplined. He like doesn't suppress all of his emotions. He is a problem solver. He shows up. He's ambitious. He's working towards something bigger than him. Maybe he wants to provide for you. Maybe he wants to be your support system in many ways. Maybe he is committed to understanding your sexual needs, and he wants to learn your body. He wants to learn what you've been through, what hasn't worked, what's going to work. He is present with you in that relationship. And when things come up, when things arise, he is there wanting to work on things instead of running away. Now, of course, that disempowered masculine man, he's running away when there's problems. He doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't care to want to get to know your body on a physical level and what feels good to you and what doesn't. He might be telling you that he really wants to be with you and he wants to have a future and marry you and for you to have his kids, but then he's not committing to you. He might be driven by his ego, by his money, by his status, but nothing else. He might only care about your appearance. He might be criticizing your appearance. He might be controlling you. He just, you could tell, you know, I didn't gotta tell you anymore. If you're on this video, then you know who I'm talking about. So there's two types of men, right? Genuinely speaking, we're talking about masculine versus feminine energy on this channel. Now, in my opinion, what I have seen within my own self and many other girls around me, and what I've also researched as well, is that you are going to not only manifest, but accept and bring into your life what you are currently residing in. Now, if we're gonna be talking about feminine energy, there's also two types of feminine energy: wounded feminine energy and empowered divine feminine energy. So of course, that divine feminine woman, she is strong with her boundaries. She knows when she needs to say no, when she wants to say yes. She's expressive. She's tapped into her intuition. She is confident within herself. She loves herself. She accepts herself. She's not trying to be perfect. I have so many videos on that, which I will link up here and down in the description as well. Now, on the flip side, the wounded feminine, she's in a place of low self-worth. She doesn't really back herself. She doesn't truly love or accept herself. She doesn't even believe that she is worthy of a healthy relationship, let alone anything else in her life. She might be living in that victim mentality. She might be very unaware of what she truly needs and wants within herself. And instead, she is chasing men. She is chasing attention from other people, but it's from the wrong people. But she's accepting it anyways because she's just trying to accept anything that she can get. She's operating out of a very wounded place. Now, I find that if you're operating in this wounded feminine, you can even take feminine out of it, just this wounded place, right? You're gonna attract what you are. If you don't have strong boundaries, then you're going to not only become a prey to a man who is also in his wounded masculine energy, but you're also just going to accept the bare minimum. You're going to accept when he wants to call you at 2 a.m. and hit you up because you're just desperately dying for some attention, because you don't know how to give that to yourself. You've never gotten it before. You don't even believe it's possible to get it from somebody who is a lot healthier than him. Or you don't have enough confidence within yourself, even on a physical level. So you're dating men who might not treat you well, you're not even really attracted to, and who doesn't even really treat you right, but maybe he just has money. Or maybe you're operating out of a place of fight or flight and you're really scared. You live in this lack mentality and you're focused on survival and money. And you're dating men who do not care about you, don't know how to treat you right, but they are providing you on a financial level. I see this all the time. I see this with girls who are in relationships where it's kind of like that sugar baby, sugar daddy lifestyle. They're really just trying to feel safe and they're using men to do it, but when they're doing that, like, the relationship ends up being so toxic and it ends up just messing with their self-confidence even more. So there might be many reasons why you are attracting a certain toxic man, but I think it truly comes back down to where you're standing in your own worthiness, deservingness, your self-love, your self-acceptance, and at its core, your subconscious beliefs about yourself. Now, I want to preface this and say it's not your fault that somebody is being toxic and treating you bad, but it is your responsibility to remove yourself from situations and realize when you have been unaware of some of the places that you've been operating out of, which would lead you into these unhealthy relationships, which would lead you into accepting the bare minimum from a man, when deep down you want a man who loves you and respects you and cares for you and shows up for you. I feel like most of us want that, but we'll put our desires and our wants and our needs on the side when somebody gives us like a little dangling carrot. And I don't want you to chase that dangling carrot anymore. And in order for you to stop chasing the dangling carrot, you have to have more self-worth, deservingness, confidence, love, boundaries within yourself, so that when toxic men are around you, because you can't get away from them, but you can remove yourself from the situation. They're gonna exist, okay? It's not that when you start to heal your wounded feminine energy or you heal the stuff within you that, no, you're never gonna see a toxic man. But when you stand in your divine feminine energy, your healed, empowered feminine energy, you're gonna see a toxic man a mile away and you're not even gonna need to look. You're gonna spot the red flags so easily that that person is not gonna come into your life and disrupt your peace. I got so good at doing this over the years to the point where I stood fully into my self-worth. I said no to the men that were not making my nervous system feel good, that were not doing it for me. And although it was hard and I wanted that attention, the moment I truly energetically said no to these men, only then did good men start to come into my life, because I was opening up those portals. I was opening up my energy to something so beautiful and so much better than this. So here's a few things that I think that are so crucial when it comes to healing your wounded feminine energy, so that it can allow you to not become so much of a match to toxic men and be in these situationships with them in the first place. Okay, so the first thing that I think is really important for you to start with is shadow work. Now, I made a whole vlog video on working through insecurities and how shadow work helps with that and reprogramming subconscious beliefs about yourself. So please check out that video. I'll have it linked up here and then also in the description. But shadow work is going to help you work through some of your low self-worth thoughts about yourself. These are thoughts that are within your subconscious mind that just run on autopilot. Things that you might not even be aware of, or maybe you know that you're aware that you don't believe that you're deserving of having a healthy relationship, but these are thoughts that are going to dictate how you move through life, who you let into your life, what you do on a daily basis. So it's really important that you become aware of low self-worth, self-hating, shameful thoughts about yourself, and you reprogram them, because you're operating from these all of the time. And in that video, when I talked about reprogramming your subconscious beliefs and how that actually works, I talk about the importance of having expanders, so people around in your life that show you that good things can exist for you as well. So this is another good way to reprogram subconscious beliefs that you have been taught, that you have been shown throughout your life. Maybe your parents didn't have a healthy relationship, so now you look at all relationships the same way and you just feel like you're doomed or you're not deserving of a healthy relational dynamic because you're never around that. All of that stuff is going to contribute to how you show up into relationships and the type of men that you attract to yourself. So please go watch that video. I also have an inner child journal guide prompt, which helps you get more in touch with your inner child and the thoughts that you believe about yourself and how to reprogram them, how to love yourself more, how to affirm yourself more. These are things that are crucial when it comes to attracting new people in your life. If you're coming from this low self-worth, undeservingness, self-hating place, what do you think that you're going to attract in your life? You're not going to attract a very healthy, confident, healed man. You're going to attract that wounded masculine man. Number two that I think is so important when it comes to not attracting toxic men anymore is boundaries. Boundaries are going to be so huge no matter what stage of healing or self-confidence that you have within yourself. Because like I had said, there's going to still be toxic men around you in life in general. You can't get away from human beings. But when you have boundaries, you will start to weed out men who were going to be toxic in the first place. I'll give you an example. One time I was talking to this guy, which deep down he wasn't committing. I already knew he wasn't going to commit to me, but he was kind of stringing me along and showing me attention and just saying all the right things. One night when I was driving home, it was like 8:30 p.m. or like 9 p.m. and I was tired and I had work the next day, and like I go to bed at a good decent time. I wake up in the morning, I like to have my wellness routines and all that jazz. Like I just don't go out late. And it was like a weeknight. He had messaged me at like 9 p.m. and he was like, hey, like what are you doing? And he basically said like he's going out for dinner with some friends and he invited me to come out. Now my initial reaction was like, why? Like why does it have to be like this? Like why couldn't you have asked me early in the day or asked me out on a proper date? Like that's what I really wanted. But then I overrided what I actually felt, which is something we do as women, which we need to stop doing. That's overriding a boundary right there. Because what I really wanted was him to ask me on a date. He didn't do that. I overrided the boundary because I really wanted to see where this is going and I wanted his attention. Then I started second guessing. Okay, maybe I could go. I could get home in like 30 minutes. I can get ready really quickly and I could go down. Like maybe it would be fun. Like I just tried to convince myself of how this is actually gonna be fun and good for me. And then I started realizing, because at this point, like I was really getting good with just saying no to all men who just weren't doing it for me. Like this guy did not last long in my life, but I caught myself and I was like, Alicia, no, this does not coincide with your lifestyle. This is not what you want. You wanted him to ask you even the day before or to go on a date. He has not done that for you. He's asking you to come out with his friends to go downtown Toronto. Like, okay, cool, but that's not what you want to do. And also, you are tired. Like if you go out, you're gonna be out all night and then you're gonna come home and then you're gonna wake up in the morning. You're probably gonna be hungover if you drink, and also you're probably gonna be a little bit depressed in the morning because you're gonna realize that that night is not even what you really wanted. And so I told him, I'm sorry, I can't go out. I have an early morning, whatever I said. I said something, but I set a boundary, and that protected myself. That protected myself from a man who, I'm not gonna say was gonna take advantage of me, like not in a bad way like that. At the end of the day, he wasn't gonna commit to me. We actually had a conversation about that eventually because I wanted to communicate that with him. And he even told me, like he admitted that he wasn't looking for a relationship even though he basically said that in the beginning. And I think it's really important to just remind yourself that you have some intuition within yourself that knows the answer, that knows when you should or should not go do something, I swear. But that really protected me from expanding my energy, wasting my time, getting myself emotionally involved, and then really sad when he wasn't gonna be the guy for me, all of that. I find a lot of girls have problems with setting boundaries and saying no, but I think what's important and what helped me, even with that situation, was the fact that I knew before he even asked me what I was looking for in a relationship. I started getting more clear on the type of man that I wanted to be with, the type of things that he'd be asking me to do, where I wanted to go with him, and just all of these things. I was actually quite clear on what I was looking for. So when the situation arose, even though I almost violated one of my boundaries, I brought my attention back to what I was truly looking for in a relationship, in a man, and he wasn't doing that. And so I had to say no. So I think a good practice to do is to get clear on the traits and qualities that you're looking for in a man, looking for in a relationship as a whole, where you guys are going to be going, what does it look like, what is he going to be asking you to do, all of these things, so that way when a guy comes into your life, when you match with him on Bumble, when you meet him in real life, and he asks you at 8:30 p.m. to go out with his friend, you will be able to say yes or no depending on what you are looking for in this mental list that you have. You might not be perfect with it. You might still get a guy who's asking you to go out with the friends. Maybe you do it, or maybe you almost do it, but you don't. But still, it's really important to get clear on what you are even looking for, because I feel like a lot of girls don't really actually know what they're looking for when you get down to it. The third thing that I think is super important when it comes to not attracting toxic men actually has to do with who you surround yourself outside of these men. If you're hanging out with girls who are in this toxic dating culture, like for me, I'm just thinking of some of the downtown Toronto girls, and no shade to all of them because not all of them are the same, but there's definitely a cluster of girls who are just operating out of their own wounded feminine energy. They don't know what they're looking for in men. They're heavily into hookup culture and they really want a man, but they don't know how to get one. They're a little bit of a mess, okay? okay? And if you hang around girls who are like that, you're gonna end up becoming them. And maybe not fully, maybe you have strong boundaries already, and that's fine because not every girl is gonna be the same as you, and that's okay. But it's to really be clear on like who you're surrounding yourself with. What are these girls or even men or whoever you're around? What are they talking about? What is their views on men? What is the guy's views on women? What are you guys doing when you go out? Are you having negative conversation? Are you drinking and just sleeping around? Are these people not even knowing how to be in a healthy relationship? Can any of these people even communicate? And this also goes for social media as well. What are you feeding into? What are the conversations that are being had that you are listening to and that people are infiltrating your mind with? This is so important for you to curate your social media platforms and your life, your environment and your life to a place that is positive. You're listening to podcasters or YouTubers or influencers or whoever in the space where they're telling you that it is possible for you to find a healthy relationship. This is what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship. This is how it looks like to communicate. People who are being realistic, people who are being authentic, people who are giving you tips on how to actually become a better you. These are people that you should be listening to if you want to attract better men or even better people in your life. If you're hanging around a bunch of girls who truly believe all men are trash, that's not gonna help you get a better man in your life. That is not. I have been around girls like that, and I have been that girl myself, and I realize how unhelpful that is to just believe that every man is the worst man ever and taking no accountability for the way that I played a role in some of these situationships. Again, this is not to blame yourself, and I get it. We want to hold certain men accountable, and there are toxic men, but your job is to focus on yourself. What can you do? What can you heal from? What mindset shifts can you change so that you can bring better men into your life? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's healthy men, there's empowered men. It's just when we focus on the negative, we're only gonna get the negative. When we are not aware of how we're operating truly, and when people around us are not holding us accountable, we're just going to get the bare minimum shitty relationships. You don't have to be perfect and fully healed and the best woman ever to call in a healthy man and call in a healthy relationship. But I think on your journey as you're dating and you're trying to find this healthy man, that you continue to work on yourself. You continue to look in the mirror and say, okay, how was I acting out of a place of fear or scarcity or unworthiness? What did somebody trigger in me that I might not have reacted a certain way? What upbringing did I come from? What beliefs do I hold about myself and men and others in this life? I think a really good book for you to read as well is called The Power of Attachment. This is great if you want to understand your attachment style when it comes to relationships. So I'll definitely link that down below. I hope these tips help. I know that they will help if you take in some of these things into consideration. They've helped me. It's gotten me into a very healthy relationship. It's gotten me away from a lot of toxic men. I can spot them like that. And again, it's okay if you're not fully there yet. If you found that you have been wasting your time with a man or you did it in the past, it's all a learning curve. We're all just trying to become a better version of ourselves. So please give yourself some love and compassion as you move through this period of your life. I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.